Hi, welcome to my review of a professional line photography book that I've had the opportunity to make on behalf of the kindness of SAAL Digital in return for doing an unbiased review. Really chuffed to open the post the other day and see this finished photography book. There are so many options that one could go for. I mean, all really classy things. You can go for a kind of presentation box, so can be a beautiful gift for somebody. I didn't go for that option myself. I decided to go for this black leatherette cover, which got a lovely texture to it, and make use of the option of this rather novel acrylic panel on the front, which catches the light really nicely and sort of has a glow to it. Certainly on a day brighter than today. It's quite diffused light coming through my window here. There are various a cornucopia really of different layout options, automatic layouts that you can go for. So it tries to keep you pick a particular theme and you can go with that, or you can customize it along the way. So if you suddenly think, actually I want to put 5 photos across these 2 pages, then you can go ahead and do that. I've tried to have a few minimal bits of text, some things telling what the book's about, that it's study of my upland and woodland and coastal photographies. There's a few of my own thoughts in there about my photography, a couple of quotes from eloquent poets, philosophers along the way, just to try and add some of my thinking about these sort of images and what I'm trying to say. There are all sorts of design possibilities, such as full page bleeds like this. The black borders is a theme that I've tended to go through, is a considered theme going through apart from the full pages. Wonderful options like this where without hardly showing a crease at all in the middle, you can go for this massive panoramic 2-page spread, and it's not got a sort of notable crease margin through the middle detracting from the image itself. And as you can see here, I've gone for that kind of edge-to-edge print on this. And the detail on this fine art paper, which I've chosen, you could choose gloss, you could choose matte. I've chosen a thick fine art paper. It's probably around 280-300 grams per square metre. And it has got a luxurious, thick feel. It takes effort to turn the pages over. Generally gone for 1 image per page. Sometimes having contrasting themes, but maybe bringing a colour such as the green here that maybe connects the 2 images. So you've got bits of the North Devon coast here and Alswell Wood on Dartmoor. Sometimes maybe relating clouds together as part of that connection of sort of graphic forms and shapes. Such as I've done here with the trees. These are 2 different places. This is below Meltor on Dartmoor. This is in Wistman's Wood. We've got the gnarly anthropomorphic trees, sort of like hands crawling out, and they kind of work well. So consider how the images will work with each other, either in some kind of harmony or some kind of contrast, or some connection of colours or shapes or textures maybe. Again, sometimes it's worth experimenting with panoramas and maybe putting a board around it as well. The actual shape of this one was somewhat different to the panoramic sort of ratio of the earlier one, and for whatever reason I felt this one worked with a black board around it. I tried it as a full page bleed and then went back to this version. Sometimes you might want to have colour pictures on one side and then a bit of text on there, or you could put the text in the middle. There are all sorts of little options here. A little note about kind of simplicity here, which is both true of, I think, for photography and design as well. Keep it simple where you can. And yeah, the depth and detail on this paper is quite incredible. Sometimes, 1 page with a bit of text and a bit of consideration drift into the picture on the far side can work. And images that hopefully we rest on, things that got some kind of visual weight to them. And again, going back to this idea of colour harmony with the brown tones there, working with the browns and the greens here, sort of earthy hues uniting hopefully these 2 pages together. things like Dartmoor itself, the different aspects of that, with some sort of farmland fields and a mixture of ancient forest here, drifting into the high moors and elements of the high moors themselves. So a bit of contrast, but some narrative still between both things being in Dartmoor. Sometimes we can use flowing shapes, such as these diagonal lines here, on two different aspects of the same river that are quite a few miles apart. You could use textures in rocks or architectural design if you were doing one on a holiday in some exotic country that you've been to. You could have one large image and maybe a series of small sort of accent images of details that you saw in some exotic fruit and spice market, and all these beautiful colours going on with the sort of local architecture. And here I think definitely the kind of the hues and textures of the granite unite these stories. There's a bit of a unity of warm tones, although it's quite subtle in this one, and again diagonal shapes with sort of energetic pictures. Sometimes things are quite different work, though. Again, we've got earthy brown tones in that, and earthy sort of colours in this one as well. Again, sort of flow, these different diagonals going opposite ways. Try and think, do the pictures work with each other? We've got green tones in each. Sometimes you'll design it and it just kind of feels like it works. And other times you might swap the pages around and think, hang on a minute, if that worked 2 pages earlier with the other image, that'd be great. Sometimes as we get through this, we realise that there's certain shapes that seem to appeal there. There's the shape of this hill seems to echo the shape of Tryfan in North Wales there, this one on Dartmoor, so maybe we're attracted to certain landforms as well. This triptych idea, a set of 3 images, I thought worked well here with the wildlife theme. And sometimes just sort of bold, elegant things, quiet little studies, intimate studies, looking off into the universe there. Yeah, some different aspects of Dartmoor there. Bird's eye view through to the old red barn at Emsworthy. And maybe finish with something brand, such as this one here from Wembury. Nice little panoramic stitch that I did a few years back. Possibilities are endless. A beautiful thing to have. I've used SAAL Digital's products in the past, and I would highly recommend them. It's not the cheapest option for doing a photography book, but if there is something you're very proud to share, to give to someone for a special occasion, birthday, anniversary, some kind of celebration, I can highly recommend their professional line photography books, and wholeheartedly